Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Hey, welcome in. Got you your latest forecast here, middle of the week on a Wednesday. Getting a well-deserved break of the rain today, tonight, and tomorrow even too. By Thursday night, especially picking up Friday through Saturday, we will be favored for some more likely rain that could be heavy and excessive at times as well. End of the weekend, and potentially some isolated severe storms too. Find your spot on the map. This is for late tomorrow, so for late Thursday. Northern areas of the state included in a marginal risk. Some isolated damaging winds late tomorrow may be possible with storms. Now, yesterday we had below average temps, high of 77. Average high yesterday was 85 in Charleston. We had that patchy to widespread dense river valley fog. Maybe still just hanging on locally before dissipating. Mix of sun and clouds, quiet today. Some patchy to widespread dense fog is possible overnight, and then starting late tomorrow, I'll watch for some showers and storms. As a surface front stretches northwest of us, we'll be favored for multiple chances of rain and storms, and some increasing heat and humidity will be favored for us in the long term as well. Today, Fly Saber forecast starts at home, Chicago. Risk of an isolated severe storm today there. High near 80 in the Windy City. From Panhandle to Panhandle, mid-70s to near 80. Fair weather today with a mix of sun and clouds. To the east, fair weather as well. Some low 80s out to the east there, up to 83. Lower temps naturally up in the higher elevations. The lower elevations, upper 70s to low 80s today. And near 80 or so down to the south tonight. Again, a well-deserved break of the rain for a couple of days. Patchy morning fog tomorrow. 87 Thursday, 85 Friday. Showers and storms are likely. Friday night, and Saturday, heavy and excessive at times. Chance of showers and storms Sunday, and then we clear out the chances of rain, and with the heat and humidity in place, those temperatures will be climbing next week. 90 for a high Monday and Tuesday, near 93.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Matt Guitar Murphy, our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It's a Wednesday edition of the show. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Get to your calls and texts at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK-304. Stephanie Pauly, Matt Guitar Murphy are our producers today. I want to welcome into the show now Delegate Shawn Fluharty. A good afternoon, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, I want to tell you, Delegate, we are in a groundbreaking phase here because, as you know, as you've heard us say, between the 2 and the 3 o'clock hour is on Metro News Television, on social media as well. And they just turned on this giant monitor in our studio here in Charleston. So you are the first interview that I get to look up on the screen and see myself talking with a little picture of you in the corner.
Oh, just a picture? You could have had my face there live with you, man, not just a picture.
Well, you know, the next time that you are in Charleston, because from time to time you do venture down to that building down the street with all the gold and stuff on it. You could just come in the studio. Then we could both admire ourselves on television.
Happy to do so. I hope it's an updated photo. I've had some really bad ones throughout the years with the legislative portraits, so hopefully it's an updated one.
Well, I mean, I will just go back and dig up some high school photos because I graduated in the 80s, man. I had the best mullet ever. I'll put that one up there. How's that? And look, my co-host Amanda, I got a really good one of Amanda about age of 12 or 13, but I'm saving that one for special occasions.
That's great.
All right. We'll get semi-serious here for a moment. So, article came out earlier this week, and there was a press event held. Several Republican members of the legislature encouraging our senators, Capito and Justice, to get behind this ban on Greyhound racing. And they're tying this again with the latest version of the farm bill. And I know you have come on this show and talked about this in the past and how important Greyhound racing is to the area that you serve in Ohio County. This statement from these lawmakers came out earlier this week. Your take on them?
Well, I'm embarrassed for them, quite honestly. They serve in a supermajority and know that they can't pass legislation in the body that they serve as elected officials. So they run to the D.C. swamp, and they try to run through an amendment to a farm bill, right? We're talking about the farm bill, an amendment to the farm bill that would do away with Greyhound racing, because they've tried to do it at the state level, and they can't, because the facts have prevailed throughout the years that this is a net gain for the state of West Virginia, and it should be decided by West Virginians and the local officials they elected, and not the D.C. swamp that couldn't find most of our cities' municipalities on a map on their best day. And so I'm, quite frankly, embarrassed for them. I can't believe they're delegating their duties to D.C. Maybe they should just pack up and move there if they're that obsessed with Washington, D.C. Last time I checked, we had legislative sessions where we passed laws on the books that pertain to Greyhound racing. And if they want to remove Greyhound racing, that's a local decision for local legislators, not Washington, D.C.
What do you think was behind their motives for having this on the national level with Senators Capito and Justice?
Well, we know that it moved through the House, and it's now sitting in the Senate, and the opposition, and I'll say the vocal minority within the West Virginia legislature that opposes Greyhound racing, just see this as an opportunity. You know, they can't win on the actual grounds they were elected on in the legislature, so they gotta double down in Washington, D.C. They've been trying for years, and I think their letter even acknowledges that they can't win in West Virginia, so they need to go to D.C., and it says things like, they even use the term subsidy. Let's make this clear, Dave, for everybody listening. This is not a subsidy. This takes zero taxpayer money. All the money raised for the Greyhound Purse Funds comes from activity at the casinos. Point blank. Can we at least be honest about that? Because they certainly haven't been. This is not a subsidy. And then so when we see in the letter they sent that this could free up money for West Virginians, it's not. If the money is not released, it's going right back into the casinos. It's not going to the community as a whole. So let's not pretend and use fictitious lies here. Let's stick to the facts. It's not a subsidy. And the facts are that we have, in the past year, 2 years, had more interest in Greyhound racing than we ever have because it's the only show in town. It's the last state that's using this economic benefit. And their studies that they're using, can we stick to the actual West Virginia economic study, which says it's a massive net gain for the state of West Virginia, and not rely on these fictitious studies that they're using that were performed by Ball State that only take about that don't talk about actual closure and the effects of closure of Greyhound racing, the effects on my local police. The same people who say they back the blue seem to not really care when it comes to their pensions. The same people who supposedly support our firefighters don't care when it comes to their pensions at the local level in Wheeling and the Northern Panhandle. That's the real effect of closure. And the studies they cite don't talk about actual closure. West Virginia's economic impact study from West Virginia University says that we would lose kennels, we would lose employment, payroll, tourism, vendor spending, all these things that are very important that are part of our economic goodwill as a whole. And that's what I'm focused on, and not the nuances of a hand-picked study that they use for these. Look, this group Grey 2K, which comes into West Virginia only during legislative sessions, doesn't actually employ people in our state, but yes, wants to shut down small businesses in our state that employ people throughout West Virginia in the Greyhound industry.
Talking again with Delegate Shawn Fluharty, and I know you mentioned the Grey 2 Grey group, and we have had representatives on that show. They reached out about coming on the show, and I have an open microphone policy when it comes to things like that. But I'm sure that you have you've heard or you're aware of their work and the other critics of Greyhound racing that would say it's inhumane. That's what other states have said about this. To those people and to those, what you would say what? That's
total BS. Come visit a kennel in Wheeling, West Virginia, and you're going to walk away and go, wow, That's amazing. These dogs are so well taken care of, and they're adopted at a 99% 9 rate, higher than any kennel throughout the state of West Virginia and any shelter that you see. It's all nonsense. It's a PR campaign from out-of-state people who only have an agenda, and they don't use facts or evidence. And I welcome anybody who has concerns about the industry to actually talk to people within the industry. These greyhounds are assets. They're treated well, and when their racing time is over, they're adopted at an extremely high rate and they're taken care of. Those are the facts. And anybody who says otherwise are just playing games and using propaganda. And that's what Grey 2K has done from day one. That's why when they came into West Virginia for numerous years, they were shut down at the legislative level, and now they had to run to D.C. They had to run to the D.C. swamp because a lot of things that happen here aren't based on facts or evidence, only propaganda. And they're using their propaganda in Washington, D.C. because it didn't work in West Virginia.
And those, we'll just say that for the record, those members of the legislature put out the statement. They are Senate Majority Leader Pat Martin out of Lewis County, Senator Chris Rose, Senator Mike Azinger, Senator Vince Deeds, Senator Ann Sharnock, House Deputy Speaker Matthew Rohrbach, Delegate Jonathan Pinson, and Delegate Jared Canada, the last two, one from Mason and one from Putnam, and the last two. Have you had any conversations at all with any of those legislators, sir?
No, and I presume they use one of their fancy AI data centers to draft a letter because I didn't see the grammatical errors I typically see on the House floor when they get up and speak.
I want to switch gears here just for a moment, and I want to tell you, you mentioned data centers, and of course that's been the hot button topic over the last year or so. And I just happened to see a little bit of a clip from a meeting that was held, I guess, last night or the night before up in your part last night up in your part of the your neck of the woods about data centers. Tell us about what happened there, how it all came about. I know you were there.
Yes, I was there. I organized it. I held an impromptu town hall. I know many legislators don't like to do that these days, but I'm not your typical legislator, Dave. I actually talked to the people, and I held a town hall yesterday about the data center proposal that's going to go in the Warwood neighborhood of Wheeling, and people are rightfully concerned, and they're concerned because their local control was stripped away and from Charleston. And the local ordinances will not apply, whether it's a noise ordinance, whether it's a zoning ordinance. All these things have been taken away at the local level and sent to Charleston, again, from legislators who don't know the neighborhoods here in Wheeling or Ohio County and the Northern Panhandle. And they're forcing upon them these proposals that the local people had no say in. And they should have a say in it. And they're rightfully concerned after what happened with House Bill 2014, which was passed and, put forward by Governor Morrissey and his team that, want to put this upon us in West Virginia without any local control whatsoever. I think it goes against what used to be Republican principles, smaller government, local control, having a say in things, and people are upset and they're angry and they want to know what's going on. And so we had a very well attended, I believe we had 200 plus people there last night who showed up and concerned about what's going on in their communities. And they wonder, why is Charleston doing this to us? And they wonder why all the money is going to flow back to Charleston and not even the host community where these data centers are going to be. And rightfully so. But that's where we're at now because they rushed through House Bill 2014. Most people at the time didn't realize the impact, and now they're seeing it on a daily basis because these new proposals for these data centers are popping up throughout the state. And I think we could probably spend the rest of the afternoon talking about what's going on in Putnam County and the ramifications they're facing there. And people don't want to see it in their backyards. If something's going to come to their backyard for economic development, they should be a partner in this economic development and not a bystander. And right now they're just a bystander. It's getting ran over by Charleston.
Let me ask about this particular facility that you're talking about. And again, I'm going to defer to you because this is as I said, this is your area up there. In talking with some people earlier today, I was told, and this is incorrect, you can certainly correct me, that this is like an abandoned steel project at one point or something to that effect, and that it's not comparable to what they're talking about maybe in some of the other areas and maybe Tucker County or Putnam County, but this is not comparable because this is like an abandoned property. Again, I'll defer to you as to whether that statement is incorrect and that it wouldn't have the impact there because I guess it was abandoned and it wouldn't be the same thing as what we're seeing in Putnam County or Tucker County.
I can't speak to the size of Putnam County, but it still would meet the parameters of House Bill 2014, which was a carve out for data centers in the sense that in phase 2 of this proposed project, we would be at 100 megawatts or more, which qualifies for the high impact data center part of 2014. So in scale, yes, it would still be a high impact data center. Would it be to the same scale as what's been proposed in Putnam? I can't say that, but I can tell you it still fits within the criteria of what 2014 parameters of what a high impact data center would be. And therefore, they get the carve out, they get the tax benefits, and they take away the local control, which is the main concern here. I think if you speak to most West Virginians, they're going to tell you, well, in some areas of the state they may work, in other areas they may not. At the bottom line is West Virginians deserve to have their voices heard on whether they want these in their backyard. Regardless of your party, political affiliation, belief system, I think we can all agree on that, Dave. And what's happened here is that has been taken away, and that's the real issue, is that these are going to pop up in your backyards. You should have some say on whether it happens or not.
Are you opposed to data centers yourself, sir, or for them, or do you have an opinion one way or the other?
I voted against 2014 in large part because it took away the local control, and in large part it gave a giveaway from the local communities to Charleston for the tax benefits of it. So am I against them across the board? No, it could work in some areas of the state, but I believe our people should have a voice in those decisions that are made, and those decisions should not squarely be made from legislators in Charleston who don't know these local communities. You've taken away local control. You've taken away your mayors, your city councils, your county commissions, null and void. All the ordinances that come with that and the voices that elected them who know those communities have been taken away by Charleston and Governor Morrissey.
What came out of the meeting last night? I know that you were there, and several, you said about 200, 250, whatever was there last night. What did you hear from the meeting last night, sir?
I think they're shocked at the details about House Bill 2014. They didn't realize it at the time. You know, when this passed back in 2025, there wasn't the coverage that you're giving to it now, Dave. It kind of flew under the radar. And now that these proposals are being made throughout the state, people are actually going through the legislation and realizing that they had a lot of their representatives vote against their own interests, right? I voted against the bill because I knew my people would want me to do that. My opponent for state senate, she voted for the bill, and people aren't happy about it. And they should not be happy about it because it took away their voice. And so now they're getting back and they're peeling back the layers, and they say, wait a minute, we'd love to have a voice here. We'd love to have our local control. And you know what? House Democrats tried to put that back in on several occasions through amendments, and they were shot down. So I think it's going to be a pivotal aspect of the upcoming elections, not just in my neck of the woods, but throughout the state. And it's going to be something that I think people have an interest in, bringing back their voice and local control to that legislation.
You mentioned the upcoming election. Is this something that you are going to be bringing up in your upcoming election, the general election in November?
Well, I bring up all the things that are important to West Virginians in the Northern Panhandle, and this is a very important aspect of it. That's why I hosted a town hall last night. I don't know how many other legislators are out there hosting town halls. Seems to me a lot of people, a lot of the politicians who love to show up for ribbon cuttings about every other day, they're pretty quiet on these issues, aren't they, Dave? Aren't they pretty quiet about the data centers right now because they know it's not popular because they messed up? They went too far, just like we do with legislation in the state of West Virginia. They just went too far. And now they're paying the price with public opinion.
Before we let you go, I do want to ask you in general about the election, the general election coming up in November. Most political pundits, those some on the right and some on the left, have come out, even those on the right that I've had on the show, that have said that they expect that Democrats are going to pick up some seats around West Virginia in the legislature. Your take?
Well, we've been out talking to the people. We had a kitchen table tour and talked about the real issues that they're really concerned about, and we don't fall back on pure political partisan nonsense. I think we've done a great job of getting back to the kitchen table issues that people care about, and that's the stuff that's going to help in November and get people elected in November, because I think people are tired and fired up over the fact that we've fallen into this political nonsense where it's just manufactured outrage when there's real problems facing West Virginians. And let's address the real issues and let's address their concerns and not fall back on soundbite society manufactured outrage.
Delegate Shawn Fluharty, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I appreciate you being here.
Enjoy it as always. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, Delegate Shawn Fluharty. It's 2:22, and make no mistake about it, and I'm going to go along with what the delegate said. In his upcoming election and others, data centers are going to be a major, major part of it. I really think that they are. The only thing, somebody sent me a clip of that meeting last night. And of course, obviously I wasn't in attendance, but I did see a clip of it. The only thing that kind of took me, and I should have asked, and if he's still listening, maybe we can ask Delegate Fluharty where it was held last night up there, because they were, the clip that I saw, they were panning the room, and there was a whole lot of people drinking beer. And I thought I'd go to that town meeting because there were buckets of beer there. And I thought, well, That'll make for a good town meeting. Metro News Midday heard all over the great state of West Virginia. Great radio stations like our flagship here in Charleston, WCHS, WJLS in Beckley, WD&E in Elkins, WKMZ Clarksburg, WVW Logan, WKLP in Kaiser, WAJR Morgantown, WEP in Martinsburg, WKKX and WVLY in Wheeling, and WSLW in White Sulphur Springs. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and texts. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We're back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
I'm Shawn Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show, 227. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. West Virginia is on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story, wvnrich.com. A video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank, proud to be invested in the future of West Virginia. I told you that, they've kind of redone some things in the studio here, and this has been something that's been coming for a while. We have a couple of screens here in the studio, and if you're watching along on Metro News Television or you're watching us on social media right now, your Facebook feed or whatever, you'll see But I'm kind of freaked out by the fact that when I'm talking, I look to my immediate left and I see me. So just so I can remember this moment, I'm just going to take a picture of it there. So that's a big old Dave head up there right now. That's a big old Dave head right now. I know it's always been out there, but I'm a radio guy, 38-year radio guy. This whole thing, other than doing an occasional television commercial and a couple wrestling shows from time to time that were televised and I was the announcer for, this is all new to me. And I'm just like looking at me, and it's like it's me. It's on the screen there. Usually I see myself in a self-checkout at Target or, on some surveillance video or something, but this is totally new. Who am I kidding on self-checkout? I don't use self-checkout. Speaking of which, I have to tell you a quick story. Yesterday, on the way home, and this is just me being an old guy, because you're going to, if people that listen to me for years know I'm the cranky old guy. It hurts when I pee. But yesterday, my wife and I decided to grill some hot dogs out last night, and I wanted something to go with it. And I thought, well, I'll swing into the local store here in Tays Valley, and I'll just go grab some, potato salad, macaroni salad, something like that. So I'm not throwing this particular business under the radar, or under the bus. But I stopped in my a local store, a smaller chain that's not named Kroger. It was a smaller one. And thought I'll just go pick up some, potato salad, macaroni salad, some already pre-made just to go with our hot dogs we're grilling out tonight. And so I go into the store, and there are no cashiers, none. And there's a gentleman waiting in line, and he's already got all of his stuff out on the belt there. And there was nobody to be found. And the guy said to another customer, he said, well, I don't use self-checkout, so either they are going to wait on me or they're going to be picking it up later. I should have stuck around to see what happened, because I also don't use self-checkout, but I don't know. We'll find out. It's Metro News Midday. Stay with us.